All right, it is Wednesday, the December 12th. I'm here with Eddie Torres doing my KNES 202 interview. All right, so what is your name and how many years of experience do you have?
Okay, my name is Dr. Eddie Torres, and I am been in the field for a little bit over 2 years now.
Okay, cool. All right, and what is your occupation title and where do you work?
I am a chiropractor, and I work at Back to Life Institute here in Lakewood, California, and most of our clientele at the facility have to do with elderly, personal injury cases, and just the population that kind of needs rehab in the terms of just activities of daily living.
All right, that's interesting. All right, so what would a typical day in the job look like? Like, what would you be doing every day based on patients?
Typical day, come into work, open up the schedule, see what the schedule's looking like, and patients come in, and we usually deal with elderly that either have any injuries, any sort of issues with anywhere in the body. We do rehab with the elderly. Oldest patient right now I have is about 96 years old.
Oh, wow.
And we also deal with people who have been in car accidents. They've suffered accidents at work. So we deal with a lot of Medicare patients and so forth.
Oh, okay. So are you like rehabbing them as well, or?
Yeah. So, for example, one of my patients, I'll give you an example. He is about 78 years old. He's suffering with really bad sciatica. Mm-hmm. He's still currently working. He mm-hmm. works as a he does taxes for a company, mm-hmm. and he has a lot of issues when he sits, and when you do taxes, mm-hmm. it requires you to sit a lot. So right now what we're trying to do is help him be more mobile, get his hips loosened up, try to reduce any of the numbness and tingling going down the legs, so stuff like that. We also have patients who have been in car accidents that we kind of work on any regions of the body that may be causing them aches and pains, any sort of neck issues, lower back issues, and things like that. So we do have a little small gym in our facility where we kind of go with. We don't just there and adjust people. We get them in the back of the room. We show them exercises, stretches, mobility exercises to kind of get their range of motion better, just so they can not only just prolong their life, but so they can do things that they normally couldn't do, such as getting up and out of bed, getting up and out of sitting. What else would it be? Maybe go into the grocery store, just things like that.
So like daily tasks.
Daily
living.
Simple daily tasks.
Okay.
Simple daily tasks.
Awesome. And then what types of schooling did you do to get into this occupation?
So I actually went to Cal State Fullerton for 5 years.
Okay.
I was a kinesiology major.
Mm-hmm.
During my kinesiology, degree, I kind of did a more emphasis towards like exercise science, mm-hmm. but then during our courses we did take specific classes, whether it was like athletic training or Gerokinesiology classes. After I got my degree, I went to chiropractic school at Los Angeles College of Chiropractic, mm-hmm. And there is where we were kind of exposed to different types of populations: athletes, children, so pediatrics obviously, mm-hmm. Moms and elderly as well, mm-hmm. Because right now, as you may know, the baby boomers are starting to get at that age where mm-hmm. a bunch of them are retiring. So that is a huge population in our society right now. So that's kind of where I kind of found my niche, mm-hmm. and I found this clinic here in Lakewood that dealt with that sort of population, and that's kind of what attracted me to that clinic. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Are there any available internships for this job, and do you recommend an internship?
I do highly recommend an internship.
Or like shadowing or something?
Yeah, shadowing. There's a bunch. There's group homes that you can shadow at, and a lot of these group homes have nursing staffs, and they also have physical therapists on staff. Some of them, not a lot of them, have chiros, very few, but there are a lot of like chiro clinics all across Southern California do deal with the elderly. Again, specifically with those baby boomers that are getting older now and are now retiring. But I do highly recommend, if not interning, just shadowing, just to see if this is kind of like the direction you want to go towards too. Because it's not for everybody, you know. A lot of people, you know, don't want to deal with the elderly and want to deal with, the younger crowd, or whether it's athletes or so forth. But yes, there are. You just call group homes and chiro clinics, physical therapy clinics. So just takes a simple call. But yes, I would highly recommend, if not interning, because interning requires some of your time and dedication to be there, but just do simple shadowing.
Okay, that's awesome. Great, like key points.
Yeah.
So what do you enjoy most about your job? Like, what's the best part?
I honestly enjoy probably the most. I do enjoy working with these with the elderly because they are motivated. Because a lot of them, when a person gets to a certain age and they just live this sedentary lifestyle, because they can't do anything, they're motivated to like want to get back to what they used to be. Obviously, they're not gonna be moving like they were when they were in their 20s or early 30s, but they're motivated to get up and do something. They don't want to feel useless. They don't want to feel like a burden to their family. So a lot of these people are motivated to just be the best that they can be at that specific age. So I think that's working with them, and the motivation that they ignite within them is probably what the best thing about working at this job is.
Okay. And then what do you enjoy least about your job?
The least, I would have to probably say the paperwork.
Okay.
So a typical day, I would get about 30 to 45 minutes to work with the patient, and then after the patient, I get about 15 to 20 minutes to work on their specific notes. So dealing with the insurances and all that stuff. Sometimes it's not insurance based. Sometimes it's just specific notes on what they're doing, how did they accomplish their goals throughout the day, and it really has to be very punctual, very precise. It cannot miss any. You cannot miss any details in that. So that requires a lot, but it's part of the job. But that's probably the least my least favorite part about the occupation.
Awesome. Yeah, I wouldn't like the paperwork either.
No one does.
Yeah. Alrighty. And if you were to go to college all over again, what classes would you feel were the most important for your job?
Classes that I would feel most. I definitely think strength and conditioning. Because strength and conditioning I didn't take a strength and conditioning class at Cal State Fullerton. It was an elective, so you don't have to necessarily take the class. But I think strength and conditioning I would have gone back and taken, because you can apply that to all aspects and all ages. You can apply that to adolescent athletes. You can apply that to your general weekend warriors, and you can apply that to the elderly as well, because muscles are muscles within every span of age group. It's all the same, but it's just how you apply it to those different populations. But I think a strength and conditioning class in college would probably be one of the classes I would go back and retake for sure.
Okay, that's awesome. Any suggestions for others going into this career or who are currently in college?
So it's going back to like the previous question of the whole shadowing and interning. You have to make sure this is what you want to do, because this occupation really, really requires patience. A lot of the elderly, they can't move as fast or as well as you would like them to, or as you would expect them to. So it can be frustrating at times. It can. So it's very, very important that this is exactly what you want to do. Patience and paperwork. Also, again, a lot of people don't know that how much paperwork requires with this job. So definitely think patience is what you have to learn in this occupation.
Okay. What would you suggest someone in the field to wear to an interview?
I mean, honestly, just be formal. I mean, whether it's like a polo and slacks or a button-up in slacks, definitely come in dress shoes. I mean, at this point in time, we know what it takes to impress someone at a job. So
Yeah.
polo slacks, dress up, you know,
Okay.
stuff like that.
What surprised you about your career once it started, and what's one thing that you wish you knew before you began?
I think going back, I mean, the motivation that this population has. I think that's what surprised me the most, because I definitely thought it would be a very dull moments while working with them, but not whatsoever. It's something new every day. And what was the second part of that question?
What do you wish you knew before you began?
Well, I mean, so me personally, I didn't grow up with grandparents, so I wasn't around like a person that my grandparents died when I was younger. So I think the one thing that I would wanted to know is, that's a tough one. I'm trying to think.
We can always go to the next one.
Yeah, go to the next one. Let me think about that.
What are the main misconceptions or myths about your field that you would like others to know are false, and why?
Oh, same thing, that older people just like to just sit on a rocking chair and do nothing. No, these people, again, we're going back to the previous question we asked. They're motivated. They want to move. I think sitting and sedentary lifestyle have become the new smoking. So no matter how old a person gets, the more movement they have in their lifestyle, the better. That's what's going to prolong their life. The more you move, the longer you live. That's a huge misconception.
Okay, that's a great answer. What made you choose this profession? Oh my god.
Profession.
Yeah.
Profession. I think I just. It's not necessarily that I went into it just head on. It kind of found me. I was working with a lot of, at a group home. I was interning and working there. It just felt good to see how their family members saw how well that their grandparents or their older family members were moving. So it not only made them happy, but it made the family members happy. So knowing that you can, in a sense, kill two birds with one stone and get improved quality of life to your patient, and not only that, it improves the quality of life to their family members surrounding them. So if they can see how well their family members are improving and living, then you're doing something great, in that population. So.
And last question: if you can choose another occupation, what would it be and why?
Another occupation. I mean, I've always liked dealing with athletes, so probably a head chiropractor at a sports team, or or just pretty much that. Yeah, like being like a head chiropractor where it's an NBA, NFL team, and so forth. But probably that. Okay. And then I still don't have an answer to that previous question.
That's okay.
Yeah,
don't worry about it. We're good. All right. Well, thank you for your time. And that's Eddie Torres.
Thank you.
Thank you.